Yeah, welcome to this video. We'll be continuing with modules 19 of our fundamentals of digital marketing certification. Okay, so let's continue. Start learning module 19 of 26. Deep dive into display advertising. If display advertising sounds like something that might be interesting to you, before you start, it's important to understand what display does well and decide what your goals are. This can not only help you set the right expectations, it can also help you focus and get the biggest benefits for your business. So what are you hoping to do with display advertising? Get your name out to people who might know more, who might not know about you. Tell existing customers something new about your business. Bring customers back again and again. You can use display advertising to do all these things, but it helps to decide what makes sense for you and then build your display advertising campaigns around those goals. If you have lots of goals, a single ad or a single campaign can't do it all. But don't worry, if you clearly lay out what you want to achieve up front, you can then build out different adverts targeting different people for all the right reasons. A simple way to break down what you want to achieve with display advertising is to think about the different steps of the customer journey as a funnel. The widest part at the top is awareness. Don't forget we have awareness, interest, desire, action. That's the marketing funnel. So let's go back to our film podcast example. Before you can turn people into subscribers, they need to know you are there. Of course, people need to know you exist before they can do business with you. Display advertising can help you here, giving you a way to reach a broad target audience. So if building awareness of your business is a goal, you will want to target a broad audience and use adverts that can make a great first impression. This is a good time to think about what might catch someone's attention. Remember, they are not actively searching for you when your adverts show up. Is your film podcast the most popular one online? Do you feature exclusive interviews with the best directors? This could be great attention getters. You can even consider giving film fans a taste of your brilliant content in a rich media video advert. See how setting your goals can help guide you as you build out your display advertising campaigns. Okay, let's get going. The next stage in the funnel is all about shaping people's opinion of you, that's consideration, and make sure that they remember you in the future when they want what you are selling. So if this is one of your goals, you can create new display advertising campaigns that use messaging to reinforce your competitive advantages and really highlight the benefits of whatever product or service that you offer. At this point, you might narrow down your audience a bit more to include people who have been to your site before, or maybe people who are really interested in the products and services that you offer. Next on the sales funnel is to focus on people who are already considering the solution you offer. Here, you might really refine your message, zeroing in on what exactly makes your product or service so great. So for your film podcast, you could talk about how many subscribers you have or use testimonials from happy customers. Remember, you won't be targeting everyone with this message. These adverts will be limited to people who you know have been looking into you. The last step in the sales funnel is the purchase. If your ultimate goal is to get people to become paying customers, you need to focus on conversion. For example, you can use adverts with special offers or incentives targeted at people who you know have shown interest in your podcast but who haven't become subscribers. Retargeting is especially useful at this point in the funnel. Remember, you want to target people that you know have been researching you online and get them to consider you and eventually convert. Well, retargeting is a way to accomplish that. It lets you show adverts to people after they visit your site or do specific things that indicate their interest. Say someone visited your podcast website after spotting an ad, looked at some pages, and even made it all the way to the subscription page, but they didn't quite make the final leap. With retargeting campaigns, you can define these near misses as your target audience. Then you can show these very specific audience adverts to help entice them back to your site. This time, they might visit your site and finish that subscription form. Just like that, you've got yourself a new customer. Defining exactly what you want to get out of your display advertising will help you create campaigns that are focused on your different business goals. So whether you want more people to know about your business or you like to turn more visitors into paying customers, display advertising can help. So let's check our knowledge. Colin distributes a popular movie review podcast called Film Talk from his website. He wants to use display advertising to attract new visitors to his site. Take a look at the 3 adverts. Pick the one you think will draw the most visitors. Okay, move to the next one. Lesson 2, Module 19. You've seen all those display ads all over the internet, and by now you've hopefully got a pretty good understanding of how they work. Now you might want to start thinking about where you want your ads to appear, but how do you find websites with advertising space to sell? And how do you connect with them? Well, that's where display advertising networks come in. Display advertising networks are like a middleman connecting businesses who want to advertise with websites with ad space to sell. Now, let's find out how they can help your business find and advertise on the right websites for you. Let's go to our film review podcast. Say you found a specific website you wanted to advertise your podcast on. Well, you have a few options here. First, you could contact the site directly to work out the details, and that's certainly something that happens. But with all the websites out there that offer advertising opportunities, you can imagine this can get pretty time consuming. This is where display advertising networks come in. They handle both the buying and the selling of display ads, linking businesses to sites that want to sell advertising space. Another way to think of it as a marketplace that brings businesses and websites together, helping manage the transactions. There are quite a few of these networks out there, like Google Display Network or Yahoo, and they all offer different features. But there's a few things most all of them have in common. First and foremost, they all offer businesses looking to advertise ad space on websites. Websites that offer this ad space can become a part of these networks, and they can do things like set minimum prices for how much money they expect for showing ads. Your businesses can then bid for the spots you want throughout all the websites in that network, deciding how much you are willing to pay. Buyers and sellers are connected every single time pages are loaded, and the ads that win the right to fill the ad spots are shown. Of course, each network has its own rules, its own features, and its own processes and bidding systems. But the key is that they all match buyers and sellers to fill available ad spots. Networks can also help you target specific audiences through 2 main routes: the topics of the web pages where the ads appear, and general information about the people viewing the content. While the exact criteria you can use to find your audience or the way you actually go about running your campaign could vary from network to network, targeting is essential to get your ads in front of the right people. Another thing networks do is handle the money involved. Buying and selling ads happens every second of every day, and the networks collect money from businesses and pay the websites that show the ads. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, advertising networks collect and share data with businesses. They can tell you how many times your ads are shown, how many times they are clicked on, how much they cost you, where they are showing up, and how all of this varies between the websites and audiences you are targeting. Many networks even let you add tracking to your web pages so you can see if your ads are resulting in conversions on your site. If you want to use display advertising to promote your business across the web, advertising networks are a great place to start. They will bring you together with the websites that want to sell you ad space. They will let you decide where your ads will be seen and who will see them. They will manage the money for everyone involved. They will even provide you the data you need to know just how well your campaign is getting on. Colin has created his first video ad and identified quite a few theme-related websites where you would like to display it. What one solution will allow Colin to easily place his ad on as many relevant websites as possible? Okay, the final lesson for this module. How retargeting works. One really powerful way One powerful type of display advertising is called retargeting and lets you use what people do on your site in order to target them with a specific advertising message even after they have left. In this video, we'll show how it works and help you decide if retargeting is right for your digital strategy. Let's use our example of a film review podcast once more. A potential customer comes across your site searching for something new to listen to on their morning commute. They are interested and start to subscribe, but halfway through filling out the subscription form are suddenly distracted by phone call. So they leave your site before hitting subscribe. While you are probably glad they visited your site, you'll be happier if they had finished subscribing. They might forget about your podcast or find something else to subscribe to instead. Here's where retargeting comes in. Your first step in retargeting is to define your target audience. There are lots of retargeting solutions out there to choose from, and many display networks offer this feature as well. But no matter which you use, you will first need to define who will be in your audience. So you could define your target audience as people who started to fill out a subscription form but didn't complete it. Your retargeting service might need you to add a little code to your site, to your web pages, or integrate it in your web analytics tool so it can start collecting a list of people from your site who match this criteria. Again, this won't be a list of individual people with any personal information such as names or email addresses. Instead, it's an anonymous list, often called a retargeting list of users that match your criteria who can be retargeted with ads. So now that you've identified an audience, any visitor who started to subscribe but didn't finish will be added to the list. Now it's time to create ads specifically for them. These ads can be pretty focused because you know everyone seeing them has already started to subscribe on your site. So you might include things like special offers for extra content, a free gift for signing up, or some other incentive that is aimed at getting them to come back and finish subscribing. With a campaign set up to show ads to people on the retargeting list, you can now reach potential customers even after they've left your site. So later on, they might see one of your ads, click on it, and finish signing up. Once they have subscribed, there's no need to show them ads with subscription incentives anymore. So you might want to create a new retargeting list for current subscribers. Then you can target them with a different ad campaign, perhaps convincing them to come back and explore all the other podcasts on offer. So that's how retargeting works. It tracks what people do on your site and then creates an audience based on their actions, letting advertisers design specific ads for people who have or have not done specific things. Hopefully, this sparks some ideas of how you might be able to use retargeting for your business to re-engage visitors, turn them into customers, and bring them back again and again. Check your knowledge. Colin is getting a lot of traffic to his podcast website, but not many subscribers. He has budget to design 3 display ads to encourage people back to his site to subscribe. Colin came up with a list of target groups that he would like to reach with his ads. Help him to cross off the 2 least useful targets from his list. Okay? So let's do the topic assessment. Then you'll see again in the next video, it will be module 20. Okay. In what way can display advertising be effective? Which of the following is an example of the type of data that advertising networks automatically collect and share with businesses? The cost, the number of ads you make from the ad, the number of sales, the cost of each ad you publish, the cost of prediction of sales you can make, the number of sales you make from which of the following are examples of advertising Which of the following is true when purchasing ad placements on an advertising network? You always need to contact the network. The network provides data on the click-through rate. The network provides links of people who click. The network will continue to sell for 7 days. If a person adds a product to a shopping basket but then leaves the website, which of the following tactics is most likely to encourage that person to return and purchase the product? What is the first step of display retargeting? Finding your audience. Hopefully, this is your correct answers. Okay. In what way can, let me see, wow, two answers are not correct. Okay. In what way can display advertising be effective? Display advertising can be a very effective way to reach your audience, but can you be sure it will perform this well? Is not the correct answer. It draws traffic to your site. It guarantees more visitors to the site. Okay. And don't click C now. That's not quite right. Consider what data is easily accessible to advertising network and what is feasible for them to be able to share with businesses. Here is where I'm going to answer. Which of the following is an example of a type of data? Anyway, question three itself, because the number of sales you make from the ad, that's not correct. The cost of each ad you publish, the prediction of sales you can make from your ad. Which of the following is an example of the type of data that advertising networks automatically collect and share with businesses? Okay, okay then, no problem. I have to agree with your answer, but I don't think the cost of creating the ad, type of data that networks automatically collect. Okay? The cost of each ad you publish, the cost of creating the ad, the cost of each ad you publish. Okay. So we see again in module 20.